Guys, my name's Gary, and I'm going to open up my package I just received. It is some 50/50 small LEDs. They're the RGB, the red, green, blue, and I believe you get 5 meters of them. So I'm going to show you how to install them, but first we're going to tear into the package here. Alright, so here is the kit. You can see get 150 LEDs, and that's all of the LEDs on the 5-meter strip. They are non-waterproof. Actually, I lied. These ones are the waterproof, cut to fit, and you can also use connectors and some other different stuff that are solderless, and it makes it really cool, really simple to install. This one came with the larger remote. I can't remember, it's like 42 or something they call it, compared to the 25. I'll look it up, put it in the description. But what's nice about this kit is it does come with the 12-volt wall adapter, because a lot of them do not, and you have to buy that separate. So this whole kit I picked up off of eBay. I want to say around 20 bucks, and shipping was in the US, so it made it a little quicker than getting it from China. So anyways, we'll go ahead and tear into this package here. So you got here's a remote. Here's the important part. Here are the LEDs. You can see where it's cut to fit. So that's pretty neat. Every 3 LEDs, you can actually cut it where necessary. Excuse me. And then there's the plug. Again, all plug and play. You don't have to solder it or anything. So here's the 5 meters of the 50/50 LEDs, the remote. I believe this is the receiver box. Yep, the receiver box for remote control. And your AC wall adapter. So for starters, before you actually install anything, you'll want to test the LEDs. So we'll go ahead and take a look. So put the cable into the AC adapter, take this AC adapter, put it in that box. Go ahead and plug the LEDs in. Let's see. Okay. So they make it very simple. Hopefully this picks up on the camera. Might not. But right there is an arrow. And then right there's an arrow. So just push it together. Might take a little force here. And there you go. That's attached. Not really sure where this came from, but I just found this, fell out of the package. Kind of interesting. Well, we'll set it to the side. Anyways, go ahead and undo this cable and we'll plug it into a power source. Alright, so there you go. It's all plugged up, and before you install it, do yourself a favor, unwind it all of the 5 meters, make sure all the LEDs work, because if not, you're going to be finding out once you install it. So here, we'll mess around with this a little bit, make sure it works. Maybe. Alright, so I found out the problem why it wasn't working. Here you go, there's a little tab that once you pull that, the battery should be active inside the remote. So here we go, we'll see if this works. There we go. Alright, so let's see what we got. Red category. A little bright in here, so you're not really going to be able to differentiate the shades, but you can get an idea. Blue category. The white. And of course, again, I click on red and adjust the brightness. Let's see what this does. Oh, I'm sorry, here's the brightness. There we go. Well, fortunately that doesn't pick up very well with the button set. Oh, there we go. All kinds of different stuff. Fades, jumps, auto, flash. Oh well. So there you go. Oh, there goes flash apparently. Slow flash. Kind of cool. So anyways, yeah, next up we'll be installing this. Let's do it. So when cutting this, for a connector like such, the ones you mainly want to use is like a 90-degree, like this one for your TV. Well, they don't come like this. How they come is actually in 3 main pieces per one of them. So it's just this flat piece. You can see red, green, blue. The positive side, very important, little thin piece there. And you'll get 2 of these. How these work. Just get your nail up underneath there. Pull it up. You'll want to take note where on the lid, probably not going to be able to see it here. Oh, barely. There's a positive and then a negative. So on here, you want to match the positive with the positive. So you just slide it in like such. Put some force into it because there's little teeth that bite into it. And there's one end. Grab your other one, open both of them again. locate the positive, push into place, and grip it closed, and you have your 90. So now what you want to do is cut the actual LED strip. So first off, turn it off. Don't want power going to it. I'd unclip it as well. And you can see every 3 LEDs, you can snip it. So that's what we're going to do. There you go. It is snipped. Brand new LEDs cut. So now, same deal. You want the positive to the positive. Now, these LED strips, the waterproof ones, they have silicone on the end, so you want to trim a little excess off. Little piece of silicone. And you can see the end here, hopefully, is now somewhat bare. So we'll find the positive. Where are we at? Positive, positive. And make sure it's pushed in there tight. And then close your flap. So grab the other piece you snipped. Same deal, peel back some of the silicone. It's really easy to manipulate these things, so they may get bent up a little bit as you're messing around with it, but it can easily bend back with your hands. So there's our 90°. So we'll be doing these in the corners. Obviously not with this short of strip, but this is just to show you how to do it. And there you go. And to show you that it works like it should. So there you have it, and we'll be doing this on a larger scale. And then one thing I didn't mention is that this piece on the receiver box is actually the antenna, so sometimes if you block it, it won't really work. There you have it, there's a 90. On to the next step. So now that you know how the LEDs work, now we're going to get into the install. So the first thing you want to take note of is where you're going to place your box. There's not a lot of wire here, so you want to pick a spot that's going to be, decent for the antenna to be picked up, and then also, just pick a spot. Obviously not going to have it in the center because your LED strips have to attach here. So what I chose to do is pick your toughest corner first. Now when I say toughest corner, it's very thin here. So if we ended up placing the LEDs here and there's a little excess, because again you have to cut every 3 LEDs, so if it puts us over here, we're going to be hanging over and not have anywhere to attach. So what I chose to do, and what I recommend, is pick the easiest spot first, because there's not a lot of play there, like such. And how I'm doing it is I'm starting at the left and then going around in a clockwise pattern. So Again, going to put the box here, and I'll have plenty of room for the wires, decent amount for the antenna to get picked up, and then go run it around. So first things first, you want to make sure the TV is very clean. So please, for the love of God, don't spray the TV. Take some shop towels. These you can find at Walmart, any local auto parts store. Get some cleaner. I chose Purple Power. Spray it, and just go ahead and clean anywhere that you're going to be attaching the LEDs to. Alright, so once your TV is clean, you want to grab the end of your strip, grab a marker, and kind of mark out where exactly you want to go. So, like I said, I want to start at the left here and go in a clockwise pattern. So I'm going to end up starting at the hardest position. So it's going to be around here, and then I've already marked mine, but you want to go ahead and take the Sharpie and mark exactly where you want to cut. And do this a couple times, because once you cut it, you don't want to eventually run out of LEDs. Granted, you have 5 meters of it, so there's plenty to work with, but if you want to throw some LEDs in the TV stand itself, don't cut it too short because you'll run out of LEDs. Alright, forgot to grab what I wanted. So, you want to take into account the 90-degree pieces. So they'll go like such, and then yada yada yada, and so on and so forth. So along with that is also, like I mentioned before, is the positive. Once you cut it, you have to connect positive to work. So if you do it backwards, and you go in the wrong direction, or you use the connectors in the wrong way, they're not going to turn out right, and they're not going to work. So I've already made my marks. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the strips. And go ahead and peel back that silicone. I honestly think this is the hardest part, is peeling silicone. We've made our first LED strip here, so just go ahead, double check, positive, positive. Make sure you have all the silicone clear of the contact points. Just push it into place here. Close the lid. And grab a set of pliers and crimp it down. So there we go. Have our first piece going right here. And then let's go ahead and double-sided tape it in place. Now, the strips do come with some form of adhesive on the back, or double-sided tape, but I highly recommend going with a quality 3M product. I think they do say how this is a 3M tape on the back, but for as thin as it is, and more than likely as cheap as it is, it's not really going to hold. So buy quality double-sided tape, and you won't have to redo this in the future. Because even if it is 3M tape, then you're basically buying the economy 3M tape. And, well, if anybody knows anything about Cadillacs, Cadillac came out with the Catera, which, if you know what the Catera is, it's actually a Chevy Cavalier rebadged. So same goes with 3M tape. Even though it states it's 3M tape. It very well could be the Cadillac Catera of tape. Kind of an awkward tape reference. So obviously doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it on there as best as possible. Trim any excess. And then I'm going to go a step further and actually tape the corners here. A little piece right there and a little piece here. Now the fun part is getting these corners up on the tape. So grab yourself a small X-Acto knife or maybe the corner of a pair of scissors or something. Now just lightly press it on there. Don't actually fully put it on there yet. You want to make sure that you want to be in a spot that's a good location when you cut the other end and push your 90. So this actually looks pretty good. So there we go. That's not going to go anywhere. So let's continue on. Try to do this so you can see it in the camera. Now with the 3M tape, you will have a little bit of excess that you can always go back and trim up, but it's on the back side of the TV, so it doesn't really bother me. Now that is interesting. Wish I would have noticed that before I cut the strip. So there's actually a defect in the strip. So apparently one LED is non-silicon. So because it's in the backside of the TV and it's not in a waterproof environment, it doesn't really bother me. But that goes to show you, whenever you test it and you unroll it, make sure you even look at the silicone. I didn't even think to do that. I just wanted to check to make sure the LEDs work. Alright, so now we're on to the very last strip, and we're on the home stretch. So again, see what is the positive. Map it out. Let's see here, we'll cut it a little short. Then whatever excess you have, go ahead, set it to the side and save it, because you can always use different connectors, and then the kit comes with 2 of these. So you can kind of do whatever you want, so definitely save what's left. So now that we put in the last LED strip, the final step is to mount the receiver and hook everything up and you're done. So I already applied some double-sided tape, but go ahead, put some double-sided tape on the back. You don't have to get too crazy. And I also recommend getting a zip tie and taking away some of the excess wire. So another thing to note is where the power cable goes. You don't want to have it up too close to here because obviously you're not going to be able to hook it up. So for me, I'm just going to place it right there. It's good enough. Now you just got to hook everything up. So there you have it. I don't want to get too involved with showing the colors right now. I kind of want to keep it a surprise. So I'm going to turn around the TV, wait till dark, and I'll show you what it looks like. So here you go. Here's what your TV will look like right after you install the backlighting on it. So not too shabby for maybe an hour, hour and a half's worth of work. I'm not going to go through every color, but you can kind of go ahead and see some of the different colors and what it'll look like. So there's different fades, different strobing effects, all kinds of different things. But you can kind of see, yeah, there you go. Sorry if you have epilepsy there. But all kinds of different things. It's pretty cool. Different color shifts. Of course, you can adjust the brightness of everything. But there you go. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.